2020 felt like it just sort of passed by in a sea of nothing. Time, sleep, food, drink, everything became meaningless in this wave of numbness. So it's no wonder I missed this absolute gem of a movie released in that time frame. Set in Yorkshire in the town of Ilkly during a book festival, two orphan brothers who were indoctrinated into a church by a radical Christian priest, Father Enoch, who sends them on a mission to kill an atheist writer, Professor Huxley, who sort of reminded me of Stephen Fry if he was a religious commentator and a dick. They're sent to kill him, for his most recent book criticising Christianity. But their plan for murder goes wrong when they accidentally kill the wrong person for having a similarity to Huxley. Watching it quite recently, I first thought it was going to be some sort of life's too short, do what you want before it's gone type of movie with the first minute or two. But then it took a complete 180 and had the first person you meet in the entire movie killed, and then presents itself very, very quickly as a black comedy. It's a very interesting film with a very good mix of seriousness along with a good amount of comedy mixed in at the right times. But never so much it starts to feel like it's intruding on the more serious moments, or it's trying to force comedy down your throat. And the comedy bits are played off very well. It's a perfect blend for this film, and it pays off very well. Although, the only complaint I do have is the character of DCI Bro. I'm pretty sure it's Bro. Or Bruh. That isn't like... I'm not making a joke, it's Broughh. Now, their character can be a little crude at times, but it didn't really take away from the film majorly. There's only really one scene I thought the film could have done without, but it's only about 30 seconds long and quite easily missable and forgettable. It also presents some interesting moral questions and commentary, with reviews reflecting that. A lot of the reviews that I've read had criticism of the fact that these two Christians were going to commit a religious jihadic act of terrorism, which I was quite surprised at. The film is commentating on how religious fanaticism is deadly and extremely detrimental to the appearance of a religion, and how criticism of religion is often met with violent and loud rejection by its believers, and is also shown when a woman, who is Christian, shouts and insults Huxley, rejecting his words when Huxley gives a small criticism of Christianity during his review on the book of his own book. It comments on these things without being direct, and still keeps its tone as a murder mystery thriller, one which actually doesn't focus on the police searching for the killers as much as it does the killers themselves, their motivations, and them as characters, which is far more interesting than the standard police murder fix which I've seen. But I do believe the reason for a lot of these lower reviews is because of the murderers being Christians, Christian radicals specifically, which has angered people, especially when the film itself describes them as being jihadists, a word which is most commonly used in the media to describe Islamic terrorists. Which I'm really disappointed in, because I feel like by making these people Christians rather than a different religion, they're showing that anyone from any religion can become a radical and can commit these acts in the name of their God, and that is not just limited to the religions that we do not like or the religions that we are opposed to. But the film has a lot of good moments, with the main character, Tim, gaining a crush on Huxley's assistant, Imelda, and since he's likely been isolated from the world in a church by Father Enoch for so long, he doesn't know how to conduct himself around her and is generally quite nervous and awkward. Also stemming from his isolation is his referenced PTSD from being beaten by Father Enoch, who references it himself and seems to view it as a positive impact, no pun intended, he's made on the boys' lives. The actors do an amazing job too, especially the main four villains of the story. Harry Melling does a wonderful job as Tim, perfectly capturing the awkward and nervous kindness of this character, which is perfectly shown in his final scene. Tom Brooke also does an amazing job as the brother Victor, who, whilst being a more violent and radical character and far more willing to do the dirty work of actually killing people, shows a very, very obvious soft spot for his brother, trying to protect him from Father Enoch when Tim refuses to kill Huxley, which angers Enoch greatly. Enoch is played by Derek Jacobi, who is perfect as the seemingly kind and calm old priest, who's a lot darker and sinister than he seems, even insulting his own mother for apparently being weak, and his hatred for all non-Christian sinners is perfectly countered by the character of Huxley, played by Roger Allam, who does a perfect job as a charismatic know-it-all professor who thinks he's better than everyone else with his religious commentary. Imelda is played by Vinette Robinson, and is also a great character, but there isn't enough of her or characterization for her, and she's treated more as a plot device in the story to teach Tim that not all non-believers are bad people, rather than actually as an important character. They also serve as a bit of jealousy for Tim, as it's shown that she and Huxley are involved, and with his crush on her, he may be jealous of Huxley, and so that may be motivation enough for him to try and kill him along with his upbringing. The film's commentary has seemed to go on unseen or even misinterpreted by many of its viewers. Sadly, I could only really find one review from an actual viewer rather than a critic, and it was short, saying it was a good film, and the other one I found was just a copy-paste of what I'd expect to have found on the back of the film's DVD in a store. I would also like to say that the film is perfect when it does tension. It has a choir in the background of some scenes standing there, and they act as a sort of tension warning, saying that something's about to happen, and as they're singing, which is done very, very good as well, it helps with rising the tension, and it's not something I've seen done in any other film where they actually have the choir standing there throughout all these scenes where no characters can actually see them except for the viewer, and doing this, which I really enjoyed and I thought was very, very smart and also quite enjoyable. Overall, this film is extremely good, a complete hidden gem, and deserves more than a 44 score on Rotten Tomatoes, especially with such excellent comedy and perfect tension, superb writing, and a stellar cast who do an amazing job in their roles. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you liked, then like the video, subscribe, comment, check out the film, and stick around, I guess. Thanks. Bye.